Now, when we sit down at table, we have the matzah there, and if you're in a messianic home, you're always going to hear, "Look at the matzah; it's striped, it's pierced, just like the Messiah was striped and pierced." Right? And for the anti-missionaries, the non-believing Jews, they'll say, "Oh, the Christians, we've been making matzah like that forever. It has nothing to do with Christ. It has nothing to do. They're just putting meaning into whatever." Well, then there's the question of Afikomen, and the actually, let me get it out here. This was so interesting to me, and I kind of went down this rabbit trail yesterday, and started looking for proof of this, and actually, there's some pretty good proof of this. Okay, I'm going to read just a little bit out of Israel Yuval's work here, if I can. Sorry, give me just a second. If I had some music, I would. How do I rotate this? Rotate right. Okay, there we go. And okay, the assumption. This is from Israel Yuval's article. A reference to this can be found also in your show notes for those who get the show notes. The assumption that the Haggadah was composed in part with an eye to excluding Christian heretics explains also the image of the wicked son in the four sons narrative. Our Haggadah presents the wicked son as asking, "What does this service mean to you?" By throwing into question the laws and commandments, say our texts, he excludes himself from the community and denies the foundation of our faith. A description that suits the Jewish Christian very well. We therefore see, keep in mind, by the way, that this is Israel Yuval, who is not a believer. I'm correct in that, right? Israel Yuval's a Jewish scholar, right?
Yeah, at Hebrew University, he's a scholar of Jewish history.
I can't imagine the flack he got on writing this. Anyway, we therefore see a new meaning to the answer that is assigned to the wise son, or to the foolish son, according to the Yerushalmi. It cites Mishnah Pesakim 10:8, and then he ein mafterin achar hapesach afikomen. Sorry, he transliterated it instead of giving you the real Hebrew.
Oh, yeah. And that's from the Mishnah.
Right.
It says they don't finish the Passover with Afikomen. And this Afikomen is not a word used anywhere in the Mishnah or other early rabbinic works. It's a Greek word, right? I mean, that's the argument that Yuval is going. This is not a Hebrew term, right?
Right.
It's a Greek.
It's a Greek term.
Word.
Yeah.
Now that's not so sensational in itself. There's hundreds and hundreds. There's like at least probably 400, I think, Greek words peppered throughout the Mishnah itself.
Right.
So the presence of a Greek or Latin word in the Mishnah. Now, of course, it's spelled in Hebrew letters. I mean, but that's in itself not what is of note here. What's of note here is that this is its only appearance, and there are others that only appear once too. So, but that what's it doing? What's this Greek term doing in the description of the Passover meal, of what's not acceptable, right, in terms of the Mishnah? This is something that's they're saying is not acceptable.
Right. Okay. So he goes on. So basically, the question is, Mishnah Pesakim 10:8. What does this mean? One may not conclude the Paschal lamb or the Passover with Afikomen. Which is interesting because how do you conclude the Passover? You find the Afikomen and that's the last thing you eat, right? That's what you conclude with. So what does the Mishnah mean by this? And Yuval goes on. In order to understand this cryptic remark, we must observe how Melito used the word. This is Melito of Sardis. How Melito used the word Afikomenos, meaning coming, in order to describe the incarnation and passion of Jesus. It is he who is coming from heaven to earth. Melito describes the Afikomen of Yeshua immediately after this sermon about the Passover being symbol for him, thus completing his symbolic treatment of the Pesach, Matzah, and Maror, paralleling the sermon of Rabban Gamliel. In other words, So then what I did was I started looking into, okay, first of all, when is Melito of Sardis? And the answer is he wrote on Pascha in 170. So this is long before the Mishnah comes out, right? Yeah. So basically the first, and if you go to any Jewish website, they're going to tell you that the first reference that we have to the Afikomen is in the Mishnah. That is not true. The first reference we have of the Afikomen is associated with Yeshua by Melito of Sardis. Don't miss any clips from Messiah Matters by clicking the subscribe button. Also, give this video a thumbs up and share it so other people can see it too.